Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another iteration of Sports Den. I'm Ryan Eastman, and joining me today is Chris Whalen, coming all the way over from FBA Follow-Up, joining me tonight in the booth. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing well. Yourself?
Doing excellent. Excited about this rematch from last year's playoffs. We got to see the Albany Alphas coming on the road here to take on the Tennessee Moonshiners. What do you think about the matchup tonight?
I think it should be a good game. There's kind of a lot of on stake for both teams right now. They're kind of neck and neck in the standings at the moment, and I think both teams really kind of want to win so that they can just edge up a little higher on the rankings.
You're right. Albany proved last year that they were a championship quality team, and now it's on them this year as the defending champs that, everyone is gunning for them. They are the target that every team is shooting for this year. So they definitely have to watch their back against any team, especially a talented Moonshiners team.
And no, I definitely agree, and it's kind of interesting. Albany is playing very similarly this year as they did last year. They kind of were staying at the bottom of the top of the pack, if that makes any sense. And then by the end of the year, they really kind of pushed to um, uh, head towards the championships, and then really took that momentum home. So I think we're going to see a very similar year for Albany this year, and I think Tennessee is looking to kind of emulate that themselves. So I'm looking forward to this game just to see kind of where these two teams are at the moment.
Well, to be fair, Albany retained a large chunk of their championship roster by returning Redmayne the free agency, and actually going into this free agency, getting a little ahead of ourselves. Umechi's contract does expire at the end of the year, and who knows if the Coffee Husky, if he gets a second ring, if he's going to want to stick around, or if he's going to want to potentially move on to other pastures and see what's out there on the market, because he's going to be in hot demand this offseason.
That's true. That's very true. Although the way you speak about it, it sounds like you're going to be putting him down at the end of the season.
No. He's going to be looking for. Okay, let me rephrase that. He's going to be looking for a fresher roast of coffee.
Yeah, I think he's been really great for Albany, but at the same time, especially if they get a second ring this year, I definitely see him moving on to a different team. I don't know that uh, Lightning will strike more than twice for Albany. I do see them as just being as strong as they were last year, but last year was kind of a perfect storm, and this year I don't know if they'll have that opportunity to snatch the championship one more time.
Well, it's a long season left to go, and it actually looks like the players are getting ready to head onto the court for the tip-off. And it's going to be Tomlin taking the tip-off for Albany and Dufresne taking it for Tennessee. And here we go. Tip-off is gone towards Albany. Haley with the ball. Passing up to Umechi. Umechi going into the paint for a quick shot. No good. Dufresne with the defensive rebound. And Sawyer with the ball now on the perimeter. Passing down to Dufresne. Dufresne. Nice little layup for him. It's going to be interesting to see how Albany deals with this large gator in the post. And bad pass coming out from Albany. Haley letting it slip out of his paw there. A little bit of mistake for the sophomore. You see Sawyer with the ball over to Wallstein. Up to the other sophomore, Malark. Back up to Savoy in the perimeter. Wallstein driving down to the paint, going for the 8-footer. Bounces around a couple times, but gets the fall. Tennessee up by 4 with a minute gone. Redmayne with the ball on the perimeter. Gets a little screen from Tomlin. Down to Tomlin. Tomlin going up, fouled, and gets the shot to fall. Gets a chance for an and one. Finally, Albany breaks their scoring drought. Let Tennessee get 2 baskets before they got there first. What do you think they're going to have to do tonight to win this game?
Well, the Moonshiners obviously have home court advantage here, and they're taking that advantage almost immediately. They're coming out strong out of the gate. I think that Albany really has to make sure that they don't have a lot of those mistakes that we're kind of already seeing early on in the game, because those are the kinds of things that can win or lose you the game.
And Malark for 3 real fast on the perimeter. And that's actually, I think, going to be a key matchup tonight is the three-point shooting. I would argue Redmayne might be one of the best three-point shooters in the game right now, and Umechi's not bad either. We see him driving down to the post. Fancy pass to Kavar, back out to Haley. Umechi, speaking of it, going for 3. There we go from the Coffee Husky, not letting Tennessee get an unanswered shot, keeping it within 1.
Yeah, if he keeps it up all night, Albany will probably end up winning the game.
And Savoy exploiting this height advantage, going down to the paint, but no good. Haley with the defensive rebound. Back over to Haley. Now Umechi on the perimeter, getting a nice little screen. Gets the switch he wants. He's with Dufresne now. He has the speed advantage here. Gets around him and slams it in. That is what the Coffee Husky is known for, his speed and athleticism getting down to the basket. We see Sawyer on the perimeter, playing a little isolation right now. Screen doesn't work, forced to pass to Wallstein with only a couple seconds on the shot clock. Dufresne blocked. Kivar with the defensive rebound. Nice defense on Albany's part. That's one of the underrated parts of their championship season last year, was just how strong they were on defense, and Redmayne fouled by Millard going into the paint.
Well, I think Albany is such an offensive team that people almost kind of forget that their defense is probably just as strong in some respects. But they just play so aggressively sometimes that it's hard to remember that they can play on both sides of the court and really hold their own.
Yeah, I mean, offense is where you see most of the highlights. It's not necessarily a defensive showcase we see every night. And Redmayne makes both of them, pulls Albany up by 3, 10-7. 3 minutes gone in the first quarter. And that's the thing, you can't win a championship without defense and offense. So boy, nice little pump fake, exploiting the height advantage. Steps into the shot over Redmayne. That's going to be a key matchup tonight. There's about a half-foot difference between the two of them. You see Umechi on the perimeter.
One of the things I'm looking forward to tonight is that both these teams tend to shy away from fundamentals just a little bit. They're a little showier than some of the other teams in the league. But they work well as a cohesive unit. And it's clear that both teams like to have fun out the court.
Right, and we just saw Savoy get the lead back for Tennessee again. Mechi going for a fadeaway, no good. And, I mean, that kind of style works if you have a cohesive team. If there's strife in the team, it's very difficult to run a loose play style like the two teams do. Like I said, it's very interesting to see and very exciting to see. And we see Tomlin fouling Dufresne, and Dufresne with the presence of mind to get the shot up after the foul's called with the chance for an and one. Tomlin had to come over and help because Haley was the only one between Dufresne and the basket. I'm sorry, the Cougars not big enough to stop the 300-plus pound Gator.
Yeah, not so much.
And no good on the first shot. I see Umechi going fast down the paint, passing over to Kelvin. No good, though. Kelvin trying to go for the fast layup when the defense wasn't set. A little too much mustard on it, though, and bounces off the rim. Sawyer over to Dufresne. Dufresne going in. Gets it to fall, and Tennessee has a 5-point lead now. Besides that 1-3 from Malark, Tennessee has been pounding the paint. We see Redmayne on the perimeter, passing down to Haley in the paint. Umechi stepping into his shot. No good, but Kavar with the offensive rebound, but blocked. Great block from Wallstein coming out there. You see Sawyer getting by his man, but picked up easily. Forced to back off to the perimeter.
Yeah, I think Tennessee knows that the best way to beat Albany here is that so long as the ball keeps moving, Albany's not going to have a chance to take it from them, and just blocking those shot opportunities on the defensive side, because Albany can snipe those baskets when they're in the zone. So it's almost kind of like a psychological warfare here, just trying to get in the heads of the Alphas, and it's working so far.
It is. We saw a big block coming in there from Dufresne, but offensive rebound and able to put it back in before the shot clock expired. Good head on Albany, keeping an eye on the ball even after it was blocked. And Umechi, first foul of the game. That's actually the second. I was trying to think of how many fouls each team has had, but it's not too bad for each side so far. No one with 2 fouls yet, and we'll get to see Malark going to the line for 2. So I guess while they're heading to the Lark, we have the fans starting to look forward to the All-Star game coming up. Anyone on the teams you are looking at potentially going besides the Coffee Husky? Because I think that's an obvious statement.
Well, from Albany, I think, Redman's got a good chance of going. Kivar is always a crowd favorite. I think even Lacoste might have a chance. Looking at Tennessee, who I think just put up a basket here.
Yep, they're up by 4 now. Delgado with the ball. Some substitutions coming in. I'd say from Tennessee, I'd have to give it to Dufresne. It's probably the most likely. Nice little pump fake from the rookie. Gets it to fall.
Yeah, I'd expect to see either Dufresne or even Hank Sawyer is pretty popular. He's not their strongest player, but a lot of people seem to like him.
All right, I could definitely see it. I mean, there's a lot of players on the team that could make it, obviously. There is some fluctuation between who the fan favorites are. I think production-wise, I'd give it to Dufresne right now. And then from Albany, I'd say Umechi and Redmayne, because Kavar has played more of a defensive role for Albany. But as we see, they've made some substitutions now, and obviously we can't go into the rookies because the rookies are a little bit more of a who's had the chance to produce, because obviously there are some rookies that are starting this year versus some rookies that are stuck on the bench. We just saw Akiak Pratt come in, the Husky Jr., made a basket in the game. I think he'll be in the rookie game, but honestly, he could be dethroned by maybe one of the guards that's getting a chance to start this year.
We're just going to have to find out.
And the timeout coming into end. Tennessee's up by 16, Albany 14. 5.5 minutes left, roughly, in the first quarter. Both teams doing well on offense, even though Tennessee's getting it mostly done in the paint. We see Malark with the ball. Interesting to see him start off the play. Quick pass over to Beck. Beck from deep. No good. Delgado with the rebound. Beck, one of those journeywoman players who've been on multiple teams. Always a good addition, though. Huge block coming out on Umechi, though. Who was that blocked the ball? That was that Noah Brown? I think that was Noah Brown, the rookie, sending the ball flying out of bounds. That's one way to say hello to the Coffee Husky. Albany retains the ball, though, passing over to LeBeau. LeBeau over to Frestrico. Up to Pratt on the perimeter. Gets a little screen. Stolen though, stripped by Song Ha. Beck, fast break. Brown with the ball. Back over to Beck. Beck for the quick shot. No good. LeBeau with the rebound. LeBeau getting down to the paint. Fancy pass over Mechi, and Mechi hangs in the air, tries to get the shot to fall with the foul, but no good. Gets to go to the line for 2 to tie up the game.
Watching the battle of the bunnies here at the moment.
I mean, it's interesting to see how these rookies do in these high-pressure situations. I mean, Noah Brown coming up against one of the best players in the league, arguably, right now. And then you have on Albany's side, Akiak Pratt and LeBeau playing for the defending champions. That's a lot of pressure on their shoulders as a rookie to have to, fight through every game. You have a target on your back.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Mechi made the first. Let's see if he can continue and tie the game up. And nothing but net. Beautiful shot as always from the Husky. And we see Beck with the ball. Passing over to Song Hua. Frestrico going up for a pump, falling for the pump fake and fouling. A little bit of an interesting choice on his part considering how far out the Foo Dog was from the paint. That's not Song Ha's range that you need to worry about. Let him take the shot at that point. Even though missed the first free throw. And we see Umechi being subbed out for Doral. Is there anyone on Albany's or Tennessee's bench that you're particularly keeping an eye on?
Well, you mentioned Noah Brown. I think he's going to grow into being a great asset for Tennessee. Gilbert Exon has been around for a while. He lends some really decent support to Tennessee. I'm actually kind of curious to see how Providence plays in this game. He did start out his career with the Alphas, so a lot of these people he's up against tonight were once his teammates, and it's always interesting to see a player kind of react to people who were once friends and now foes.
All right, you're coming a little low. Could you possibly try turning yourself up just a little bit? I'm barely hearing you.
Is that a bit better?
Yeah, that's a bit better. And we saw Albany, Frestrico getting a nice offensive rebound, putting it back and drawing the foul, and getting the and one. And a big block from Frestrico on Song Ha. Passing over to LeBeau. Now up to Pratt on the perimeter. Down fast to Beau. Beau, wild pass, trying to be fancy, and it just flies out of bounds. Rookie mistake. Not something you want to see from your rookie. Being a little, maybe too comfortable with how he's trying to play the game right now. A fancy behind-the-back pass while driving to the paint is not a high percentage pass, especially a no-look one. See, back on the perimeter for Tennessee.
Well, I don't blame him. I mean, the way both teams are playing right now, it looks more like an all-star game than a regulation play game.
And Beck no good from 20 feet. We see Dora with the ball now.
Doral's the one person I'm looking at for Albany here. One of the best defensive players in the game. Doesn't get a lot of playtime though.
All right, I mean, Dora plays that specific position. We see Pratt going for three, bounces in and out, but LeBeau getting the offensive rebound and the putback. That is surprising at his height to see him get that, but sometimes it just falls in your paws. Albany on an 11-2 run, 21-17, and we're seeing, okay, nice quick shot coming out from Pentagoian. bring it back within a 1-point game. And yeah, I mean, Dorrell is one of those situational players that you bring in to really shut down the opposing team. And LeBeau going for his own three, answering right back.
He's on fire today.
Well, I mean, for how long he's been in the game, you're right. I mean, that's 2 quick shots from him. I mean, great presence of mind to get an offensive rebound and put back over the bigger defenders, and then to answer right back with a 3 of his own. Like I said, it's a little bit of the battle of the bunnies here. We got Noah Brown for Tennessee and Jasper LeBeau for Albany. I have to say LeBeau is coming out on fire, though. I mean, Brown definitely had his huge block on Umechi, but we haven't seen much from him on the scoring end so far. And I guess that's the thing with a lot of teams is everyone kind of looks at, who's the best scorer on the team, but there are those situational players that are very important for how the team functions. You have those situational three-point shooters that you bring in just to get when you need to put some pressure on the perimeter, or Dorrell is a great example of a situational defensive player.
Mm-hmm.
It really is on the team to find a mixed bag of players, because not everyone can score. If you have nothing but scores, you're going to have no one defending.
Right.
We see some changes coming up for Tennessee, bringing in Providence and Shuck.
Well, I know Albany's been criticized for picking up,
Guards.
2 or 3, yeah,
Guards basically.
People who can put up the points, and I think sometimes that overshadows some of the other support that is on the team to allow those stars to shine through.
We see Providence. We see Providence with the ball, no good with the shot though. I was looking at 24. I was like, that's not Jasper LeBeau. That's the wrong team.
No, he's
he's the little bun, I know, not the tar.
Not the giant sofa on the. Can I just say that?
Oh, don't! Please don't. And we see Pratt with the ball running down the shot clock. Nails it though. The Husky continuing the run, 26-20. A little under 2 minutes left in the first quarter. And Panagoyan going for another fast shot, no good. He was open though. Hadn't fully set for the shot though, and now we see Dorrell driving down to the paint, but deciding to pass back out to the perimeter. A frustrated kill, don't pump fake. No one's going to fall for that from the perimeter. And if he makes it, I'll cry. LeBeau passing back to Pratt. Pratt having to go for a last-second shot again. Pratt has been on fire with these last-second shots. That's 2 baskets in a row from him.
Well, they don't call him Mini Husky for nothing. I think he might actually be taller than Umechi.
I don't believe so. Umechi is... Let me pull my stat sheet. LeBeau on the perimeter. Nice little pump fake. Gets around his defender. Can't get the basket to fall. Bouncing off the front iron. Well, nice little shot coming out from Tennessee, bringing it back within 6 with only 4 seconds left. So Pratt is 6'4", Umechi is 6'7". So I think Umechi is the taller of the two.
Maybe his ears are tall. I don't know.
Maybe it's because he's bouncing so much you can't tell where he's actually his height. We see Dorrell with the ball. Passing over to Pratt for a well beyond the three-point arc. But for Strico, nice offensive rebound, puts it back up. No good, though, but draws the foul. A chance to get 2 from the line. High-volume offense coming out from Albany. 28 points so far in the quarter. I wonder if the Coffee Husky has converted Pratt to the one true religion that is the coffee.
Well, I think he's running, making coffee runs regardless.
No doubt. Umechi definitely is known for putting the rookies through the ringer. I think Kelvin can account to that. No good on the first. And we're going to see some last-second substitutions before the quarter comes to a close, even though it's really just going to be for one more possession. Dufresne in, guessing he's going to be there to prevent an offensive rebound. And good on the second, even though it looked like it might have bounced out. 29-22. Tennessee with a chance to, well, get it back to at least a 5-point game. Or a 4-point game if they go for a last-second three. Back for three. No good. Close. It rimmed out. And with that, the first quarter comes to a close. Albany 29, Tennessee 22. What do you think of how these two teams have been playing so far this first quarter?
Well, it's interesting. I mean, I feel like we're almost watching a game of table tennis here, with the score going back and forth. Both teams seem to kind of be putting bursts of energy into shutting down the other team, and then we kind of see them pull back, and that's where the other team kind of gets a chance to catch ahead. Even though Albany's up by 7, I'm not sure they're going to hold on to that lead. Tennessee was up by 5 or 7 just moments ago.
Yeah, they had a similar lead.
It. So I think it's too early to really kind of say too much about where this game is headed.
Yep, and second quarter has gone ahead and started. Tennessee missing their first basket. We see a good mix of starters coming back into the game. Tomlin back up to Haley. Kelvin on the perimeter. Bit of a street baller. It's been interesting to see how he plays in the FBA. No good on his shot, though, and that's one of the things he's had to work on is, you know, his mentality of holding on to the ball. We see Millark now with the ball, passing down to Dufresne. Dufresne, nice shot. Givar was forced to foul him because he had lost the positional advantage. Dufresne gets the ball to fall, though, and his chance to add one more to the score. You can tell he's excited about that. And we'll see the rest of the starters come back in for Albany now. Omechi getting a little bit of a coffee break is over.
Well, I'm not surprised that people keep fouling on Dufresne. He's a pretty big guy, and he kind of forces himself through the crowd.
He is a big body, and you can't discount him at any time. And we see Haley, the ball on the perimeter, getting a screen, but it doesn't really work. Passing on to Tomlin. Tomlin from the free throw line, off the back iron. And Sawyer with the defensive rebound. Haven't seen much from him tonight in regards to shooting, but he's been passing the ball well. Sawyer, that was like a double screen play called, but Umechi gets around it. Millark going for a long 2. It's good. If his paws were a couple inches back, it would have been for 3. Redman with the ball, the other player that's been surprisingly quiet so far. See Umechi from the left corner for 3, no good. Dufresne with the defensive rebound. And Millark with the ball again, passing over to Savoy. Back to Sawyer for the double screen again, no good once more. Millark left in the corner again. Not landing it, but Wallstein, offensive rebound, but blocked. And that's Albany's, I guess, dagger, you could call it. You have Umechi, who's dangerous pretty much anywhere on the floor, and then you have Redmayne, who can shoot from the perimeter all day.
Yeah, I definitely think having the combination of the two, being able to basically play the whole court, has really been one of Albany's best assets in the last couple of years. Especially once Redmayne kind of came into his own.
A dangerous pass down low, and actually it's going to be an offensive 3-second violation called. The ball did not get down there fast enough for the ref. As always, a reminder for maybe some new folks, offensive players cannot stand in the paint for 3 seconds without the ball, as the defenders cannot as well. You can't camp under the basket, basically. And if you do, you result in a turnover, like we saw there from Wallstein. Umechi, nice little moves, decides to pass back out to Redmayne, drew the defense in. Umechi going for three. Looked like he had it, but just rimmed out. He has gone cold now, 2 for 8. Sawyer being double teamed. Wallstein with the ball, steps into her shot. No good though. Kivar with the rebound. Score stuck at 29-27. Only a 2-point advantage for Albany. A little over 8 minutes left in the second quarter. Sorry, and Umechi for 3 now.
That's a big 3.
Yeah, he's one of the guys that can keep shooting even when he's cold, but it's nice to see him make that. He's 2 for 4 from the 3-point range tonight. Gives Albany a 5-point lead. Sawyer driving down low, double teamed. Draws the foul. I think he would have liked to have had his screener follow him for the putback, but he decided to step out of his way and let Sawyer drive to the rim. Nails the first one. Both teams have done very well from the free throw line tonight, besides 1 or 2 misses for both teams. It's one of those fundamentals you like to see all players have, even going down to the center position, because we do end up with those situations where you have players like, I hate to throw him under the bus because he's a big bear, but DQ. Sometimes it's better just to foul him than let him shoot.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely.
Kivar then fast shot, good. Keeps the game at 5.
Well, you got to give the coaches some credit. I mean, when you miss free throws, you're just giving up 3 points.
You are. And Savoy using his height advantage again, forces Redmayne to foul him. And see, in that situation, Albany needs to be aware of this bad heighted mismatch for Redmayne and be ready to help him. Because nothing against the Buffalo, but a 6-inch height disadvantage is not an easy thing to overcome when they're constantly forcing you into the post.
Yeah, and especially when you've got 2 teams that are known for maybe being a little more aggressive, you bet the refs are going to be watching for fouls on both sides. So you got to be extra careful when you're going up against such a mismatch that you're not going to, like I said, give free points to the other team. So.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting to see if the coaches continue to exploit this matchup, if they're going to keep telling Savoy, push the paint more. Maybe get into Redmayne's head a little bit.
Gonna have to dig through a lot of Maine to get there.
Everything he'll shave it for a charity event?
I think if it was for charity, he would. I'm surprised that he's kept it pink. After that freak action in his rookie year.
I don't know. Some people find what they like. Pratt no good for 3. Lark with the ball now. Driving down to the paint. Spin move doing on his own. Gets the shooter's bounce off the front iron. Brings it back with a 1-point game. Albany 34, Tennessee 33. 7 minutes and some change left in the second quarter. Neither team able to really get an advantage now. Albany came into this quarter with a 7-point lead, but they've let it slip to a 1-point.
But I think that just shows the tenacity of both teams. It's really hard to say when one team is up, because you're going to have the other team just pushing all that much harder to try to tie it up again.
Right. It's very hard to tell when the momentum switches where it's going to stay. And we saw Pratt another last-second 3, no good on his part. He has not made a basket this quarter after his hot start in the first. Long 3, no good from Tennessee. The tough defense of Albany forced them to take a last-second shot. They never really got a chance to set up a play. Very strong showing from them, forcing Gilbert to take not the best shot. especially at that range. He was a good
Yeah.
4 feet beyond the perimeter anyways. I can name maybe 3 players that I could expect to actually make that shot. See Pratt with the ball now. Husky Jr. driving in. But stripped from his paws by Gilbert. 3-on-2 fast break over to Millark. Millark pass to Savoy. Savoy putting it up. Draws a foul on Pratt this time. And basket takes the lead with a chance for one more on the board. Smart play from all 3 of them there on that fast break. None of them were ready to take none of them forced the shot. Any of them could have taken the shot, but they played smart and just waited. They were calm. They didn't try and rush it. We see Brown
Well,
back in.
especially with Albany, you gotta wait until that right moment. They're such a frenetic team that eventually there will be an opening that you can just take and exploit.
Yeah, I mean, no team is without its holes in its defense, especially on those fast breaks. And we see Albany actually decide to call a timeout after perhaps the coach got tired, well, not tired, but ready to make some adjustments based on how Tennessee's playing this second quarter, because Tennessee right now, even though the score is close, has outscored Albany by almost 10 points this quarter. What kind of adjustments do you think the coach might be telling his guys right now?
So, if I were Rick Daniels, I would kind of have Albany take a step back and do what Tennessee is starting to do is wait for those opportunities rather than making those opportunities. Albany, you could say some of their success has come from just kind of taking any single opening that they can find, but with a team like Tennessee, that doesn't always work because they're moving around just as much as Albany is. So by the time you try to take that, kind of force your way through in there, you've got Tennessee back to block you from moving forward. So I think they really just need to step back a little bit and maybe slow down their pace a little, just to give more advantage of those windows of opportunity.
Well, I hate to say it, I don't know if the coach was listening to you when you were talking, because he had Umechi come right out with a hard dunk, fast play, and nice defensive stop by Albany as well. Huge block out of bounds. Tennessee retains possession though.
Well, that's why he's Rick Daniels and I'm Chris Whalen, right?
Yep. And Brown going for 3, no good. Personally for me, I think Albany needs to expand their perimeter game, get Redmayne more involved. I don't know why he hasn't shot as much. Umechi's been the one taking the 3, and see LeBeau coming in, but huge block from Wallstein. The poor Bun had no chance. And back, fast shot. Nice little teardrop, high arc on her part. And that's one of the things we see with, rookies is really adjusting to the size advantages and disadvantages that they're not used to in college. I mean, FBA players are taller, bigger, faster, stronger than they played in college.
Oh, that's almost especially the detriment for some of the rookies on Albany is that because you've got almost no change in the bench from last year, they're not getting as much playtime as they might have otherwise. And then you have a situation like this where they're kind of relying on instincts more than anything else, especially against a team like Tennessee. But then those instincts don't help when you're basically surrounded by everyone who's taller than you.
Well, Umechi's instincts are without a doubt sharp as razors. Nice little play by him, slipping by his defender and laying it off the backboard. If anything, the rookies need to be watching him and seeing what he does. And we see Beck on the perimeter, no good. Umechi can be a one-dog show. That works sometimes day to day, but on 7-game series, not so much. And we see him again trying to put the team on his back, tying the score up at 40 apiece. I said, with any team with who made, oh, bad pass. Albany gets possession of the ball off of Beck's, perhaps threw the pass a little too hard. Person wasn't ready to catch it on the receiving end. But with Umechi, he's such a high-powered player that you kind of have to build a team around him because there aren't enough touches to go around for big offensive players like that.
Yeah, for sure. I just don't know what Albany is going to do when, if and when he decides to move on to greener pastures, as you say.
Let's go with nicer coffee. LeBeau, no good. Huge height disadvantage. Not a good shot to try and take there. 2-on-2 fast break. Beck. No good. Put a little too much power behind her shot. I mean, Albany's almost always had a later pick, and it's come to them trading up for the higher picks like they did with Kelvin. So I'm sure they could find a player in the draft if need be, or they could search free agency. Stripped. Dangerous pass down low in the post. 3-on-2 fast break for Tennessee now. Providence now with the ball. Guitar getting around fast, and nice little layup from under the hoop. Surprised didn't step out of bounds there. Like I said, Albany, I definitely know people want to come and play for Albany. We see a foul called. No good on the shot, though. Have a chance to tie it up. It's kind of hard to deny, Albany's one of those storied teams that most players would love to play for, especially if you were offered a starting position. I obviously would be shocked if they did not try and get Umechi back. It's just going to be up to the Coffee Husky this offseason what he does and how long he keeps people waiting for his decision.
Well, and if they don't succeed, I think Albany's going to have to be very, very strong in this upcoming trade season, just because they, as much as they depend on the Husky for making plays. If that keystone is gone, where do they go from there?
Right, and we see Lacoste making the first one, and Gunn the second, tied back up at 42 apiece with a little over 2 minutes left. And it might be that the team evolves around more of Redmayne and Kivar, but that's the thing they have to consider because Umechi's probably going to want a max contract, which is going to put a strain on their salary cap. Obviously, like any team, it's going to put a strain on anyone's salary cap. Dangerous pass, tipped and off the rim. Albany with the ball again, passing to LeBeau. Gets it to fall off of Beck. One of the few good matchups he could probably find on that fast break. Gets the basket and a chance for and one. We're seeing a lot come out of the rookie bunny. If the first quarter was Pratt's quarter, it's LeBeau's quarter this time around. Two great showings so far from the bench from Albany. I think a lot of their points have actually come from the bench. If it hasn't been Umechi, it's been from one of those two. We see Albany has done well from the free throw line, over 90% so far tonight. We see a fair fall over. Tennessee doesn't exploit it though. Back going for three. Nice shot, tying it back up at 45 apiece. And LeBeau with the ball on the perimeter. Passing over to Zitkov. The Tiger on the perimeter looking for an open fur. It's LeBeau getting the screen, but doesn't free him from his defender. Only a couple seconds left in the shot clock. Forced to take a fadeaway three. No good. And offensive rebound by Verstrekel again. Nice putback on his part. That's 3 or 4 offensive rebounds for Albany this half.
Well, that just kind of goes back to what I was saying earlier. Is it seems like Albany is just driving towards that basket, whether or not they have the opportunity. And I think Daniels is smart enough to have Verstrekel kind of under the basket, knowing that when those baskets don't get made, you got the big bear to clean up the mess.
And we see Albany with the ball again. There's always a danger about crashing the glass, and no good from LeBeau from deep. If you have the offense crashing the glass, there's no one necessarily there to defend when if they lose the rebound battle. And Tennessee almost lost it there, but they managed to retain possession. Less than 8 seconds left on the shot clock. We'll see who gets the ball to end the quarter. No good. Dufresne putting it back up with the buzzer beater. I'm not sure whether he made it or not. He looks like he's saying he made it, but let's see what the refs say. They haven't called it yet. And it actually looks like they're going to go to an instant replay. And we'll run it alongside them and see what we think. So, 0.2 seconds, 0.1. Yeah, his paws were still on it. At least another 0.2 seconds. Yeah, they're not going to count that. Unfortunately, it's not going to be a tying basket going into the half.
I'm sure Albany is okay with that.
Well, I mean, obviously, it was somewhat designed that they would take a shot with a couple seconds left, just in case for that kind of situation when you have, the big Gator down low. Why not put a shot up? Because there's a good chance he'll get the rebound like he did there. Just not fast enough on his release to get it up.
But in a game like this, those 2 points could make all the difference. I mean, especially as we get into the second half here.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, we're going to go over the stats real fast while the teams are talking it out in their locker rooms, obviously making I'm sure the coaches each have something to say for each team.
Yeah.
We'll start off with Tennessee. Wallstein, only 2 points, 2 rebounds, but 4 huge blocks, really showing up on the defensive end tonight. We have Russell Savoy, 9 points, 2 rebounds, and an assist. He's perfect from the free throw line, 3 for 3. Trice Millark, 8 points, 2 assists. He's made a 3 tonight, 3 for 4 from the field. Noah Brown, he's only taken 3s tonight, but he had the big block on Umechi early in the start of his minutes on the floor. Beck, 7 points, 3 assists, but shooting not great so far tonight, 3 for 10. The big, star so far from Tennessee besides Savoy is Dufresne, 9 points, 6 rebounds, and assist, 4 for 5. Would have been 5 for 6 had that last shot been a fraction of a second sooner. He is probably going to be their main source of points going into this next half.
Yeah, I think a lot of those came from free throws too, didn't they? No, he only had one.
Only made one of his free throws. He only had one offensive rebound as well, which is at
That's
the
right.
end. Most of them were just him backing down into the post and making the basket. And as we see the bench coming in now, Tennessee's bench hasn't done a whole lot. I mean, Sawyer had fewer minutes in the first half. I'm assuming he's going to get more in the second. 5 assists is the big stat to take away from him. Song Hwa, only 2 steals and 2 blocks, which is big for a defensive player, Hasn't been producing much on the scoring end, but has essentially produced 4 turnovers. Gilbert, 1 for 2, only 2 points. Shuck, 3 rebounds. Providence, the 1 basket behind the hoop. And then Penagoian, his 3-pointer that he came in on, hasn't done much besides that. And we'll switch on over to Albany, where, surprise, surprise, Umechi's the top scorer, 16 points, 2 rebounds, 6 for 13 from the field. In the second quarter, he definitely brought up his field goal percentage. Tomlin, 3 points, 2 rebounds, and assists, 2 big blocks on his part. Delgado, only 2 rebounds and assists, hasn't taken a shot yet. Redmayne took 1 shot but was fouled, got to go to the line for 2, made both of them, but hasn't taken a 3 yet, which is a little surprising. Frestrikiel, 8 rebounds, 6 points, has a chance to go for a double-double despite being on the bench at the rate he's going. 2 for 3 from free throw range. And then we have the rookie, LeBeau, 8 points, 3 rebounds, taken a number of shots. 10, only made 3 so far. 3 of them were three-pointers that did not go, though, so if he's a little smarter with his shooting, his field goal percentage would be a bit better than what it was.
Well, and you can definitely see with Umechi and with LeBeau that they're Albany is using this kind of shotgun approach to shooting, and I stand by my statement. I really think that in the second half, Albany needs to take a step back, look for those opportunities as opposed to just kind of tossing the ball at the rim and seeing what sticks.
Yeah, and we see, with the rest of the bench, Kavar, again, limited minutes to start, but 4 points, 5 rebounds. Pratt off the bench, 6 points and a rebound, but 2 turnovers. And the rest of the bench, Lacoste got to go to the line for 2 free throws, but not much to talk about between them because, again, it's been Pratt, LeBeau, and even a little bit of Haley taking all the shots for Albany, which is not necessarily a bad thing considering they probably are their better scorers on the bench. But they haven't produced much in terms of turnovers and stops as the bench.
Well, Albany's a very specialized team. They pick up people based on 1 or 2 specific things that they can do, and it does show in their stats.
Right. You see dangerous pass down low to the sophomore Millark. Nice little layup. Sawyer takes some cojones on him to throw it down low like that. And no, not the kahunas. As I say that, Kelvin, another bad pass from him. Perhaps thought his teammate should have been in a different place and threw it a little bit outside of his reach. Sawyer with the ball in the perimeter. Nice little spin move down low. Pass to Dufresne. Fouled on the way up, but nice heads-up play on his part. Like you said, sometimes it looks like we're watching a all-star game with how these players are passing the ball around. Drove to the basket, decided to throw it behind his head to the open Gator. Albany forced to foul him. Not a bad choice considering his free throw percentage isn't the best.
Makes that one, though.
Yeah, again, sometimes you get those streaks of, they're going to make a couple, but in the long run, sometimes it's better to foul. Don't do it to like Umechi, though. If you're going to foul Umechi, you're just giving away free points. There are some guys you do not want to foul. And go on the second. That's 3 for 4 tonight. And Haley with the ball again. Let's see how he handles his passes at the moment. Redmayne. Pump faking. Getting a screen. Going for 3. His first shot from perimeter. No good, though. Wallstein corrals the rebound. For Sawyer now on the perimeter. Double team. Wallstein open lane to the basket. Nice little layup. Albany committed too much to the defense of Sawyer and left Wallstein wide open. Mechi with the ball now. Trying to break by Millark. Decides to pass back up to Haley on the perimeter, though. Only a couple seconds in the shot clock. Forced to take a 15-footer. No good. Dufresne with the rebound. Ball bounced inside the rim. Savoy on the drive. Fast break. Gets the basket to fall in Mechi. Forced the foul. That's his second tonight. Savoy gets to go to the line for one more. Nice.
Albany in a drought here. They're scoreless in the third quarter, I think.
Well, I don't know if I can call it much of a drought. It's been 3 possessions, whereas Tennessee has scored on every possession, and he misses the free throw. Albany has missed every possession. That's a very quick way to lose control of the score. Tomlin going for a 3. That was very, I don't want to call it panicky, but I know he was open. But the man
it looked a little desperate there for sure.
And Wallstein going for a 3 herself. I know she's capable of shooting it, but I think they want to keep the momentum right now. See, Redmayne forced a foul again on Savoy. As you said, the refs are not letting any kind of contact get away tonight. It's going to mean a very slow game for us if they have to keep going to the line every other play. It still, so far, has been much better than that game I hosted last year, where I think the free throw percentage was below 50%. That went to overtime. I've never seen a game like that since, thankfully. And Tennessee got on the first one, extending it to a 7-point game, possibly an 8-point one if he makes the next. Savoy, one of those kind of underrated players. For a while, he was on. He started off in Tallahassee, traded to Edmonton, and ended up coming to the Moonshiners as a free agent off of his rookie contract. You see Tomlin with the ball on the perimeter, pulling Dufresne out. Might give a chance for Umechi to get down low, but Redmayne decides to drive in. Nice spin move. Gets down low, but blocked. Nice block by Wallstein. Forces a shot clock violation. The ball did not touch the rim. It's one of the dangers.
Some bad luck there.
Yeah, and we're seeing Albany decide to pull out a full court press now. Put some pressure on the offense as they come up the court. Hope to force some turnovers. Sawyer over to Wallstein. Wallstein, that's a big dunk coming out from the Buffalo. Yeah, and Albany needs to call a timeout after that.
Yeah. Well, this is the largest lead we've seen this game, and Albany hasn't put up any points yet still. So they got to change something up.
Yeah, now it's becoming lethargic from Albany. They have not been able to produce anything. Noticeably, the ball has not gone to Umechi. I'm a little surprised. I mean, it went for, I think, like one possession where he actually had the ball for any significant amount of time, but it's been Haley off a bad pass, causing a turnover. You had Tomlin taking a three early in the shot clock, and then Redmayne going for two baskets. Not a bad thing to have him start shooting, but still, he missed both of them, which is very problematic when you see Tennessee not missing a shot anymore.
Must have given Umechi's coffee to the other team.
Well, or Umechi needed to yell at one of the rookies to not give him decaf.
Decaf.
Would a state ban coffee just to prevent him from winning a game in their home state?
They might.
We see Seattle ban coffee. Well, there we go. Umechi finally with the ball again. Nice little spin move. Again, I think they're going to have to play through him for the rest of the night.
Yeah, for sure. He's 46% for the night so far.
Wallstein down with the ball.
He's going to miss one out of every two shots.
I mean, that's still a very nice percentage. It's just what side does he end up on? Wallstein, nice job getting the rebound there over the defender. I mean, ideally you want to shoot about 50%. A little bit below that's fine. But then Paul stripped by Redmayne. Redmayne wide open. Easy chance for a layup. First basket from him besides the two free throws he made. Brings it back to a 6-point game. Nice active pause on his part.
That's the Redmayne we're used to seeing on the court.
It is. But then Savoy getting by his defender. Umechi unable to get there in time. Answers back with his own easy layup, splitting the defense in half. Let's see what Umechi has to say about this with his possession. He gets a screen. Dufresne double teaming Umechi. That's one way to stop him. Tomlin going for a long shot, bouncing around, finally falls in, and the foul on Wallstein. And that might be what Tennessee, decides to do for the rest of the game. If the other, if Albany's not scoring outside of Umechi, double team him.
Oh yeah, it's a smart strategy.
And he makes this follow-up free throw, 5-point game. Malark with the ball in the perimeter. Back up to Wallstein, back over to Sawyer, who gets a screen from Sung Ha. Down to Wallstein, another nice little play from the paint. Wallstein tonight was quiet in the first couple quarters, but now has really shown up with the monster slam and a couple baskets in a row. Mechi on the perimeter gets a little space, goes for three, no good. That's not where he's known to shoot from, despite him being able to. And we see Malark drawing the foul from Pratt, driving into the paint. Chance to go to the line. And that's where I want to, it's going to be interesting to see how these rookies evolve over the rest of the season. Like you mentioned with Albany, they have kind of gotten flack in the past for drafting a lot of guards. This year they drafted 2 guards. Maybe it was because they were afraid they were going to lose Redmayne, but now that they were able to get Redmayne back, they are kind of forced to play 2 rookies on the bench that perhaps may have had a chance to start had he not come back.
Well, Albany's always been lousy with guards. They have this problem every year. It's just something that they're shooting themselves in the foot with almost, because they don't have some of the depth that some of the other teams have, and that's why they have to kind of rely on specialists to do what a more balanced team might be able to accomplish on their own.
Yeah, and we see Song Ha with a nice steal in the paint. Another 2 points off of turnover for Tennessee. Biggest lead of the game now at 11. Umechi trying to back down, gets around his man. Surrounded by 3 defenders, though. Can't get the fall. Malark has been slow but consistent tonight. 5 for 6, 14 points. Speaking of Malark, he's on the perimeter now. Getting by his defender. Can't make that one fall, though. Looked like it was going to be good. Got around Husky Jr. See Umechi now off the double screen with the ball. Loses it, though, with the double team. Wallstein ends up collecting it. Passes down to Malark. Malark going one-on-one with Umechi. Decides to take the shot, draws the foul. That's 3 now for Umechi. He might have to be sat for a couple minutes to avoid foul trouble going into the 4th. He's not happy about the call.
No. And with the double team on Umechi, we've seen that happen to Albany quite a bit as well. They're usually able to kind of counter it with, with some smart offense, but looks like they're just still passing it to him at the moment.
And we see Malark miss the first one. Normally I feel like their response is Redmayne go shoot the ball from the perimeter.
Right.
But we haven't seen much of that tonight. I don't know if Redmayne just isn't feeling it tonight and has told his team, don't call those plays for me. But besides that, you have Kavar down low in the post you could be passing to, unless they think that matchup against Wallstein is a disadvantage for them. I would say tonight in the post I give the advantage to Tennessee with Wallstein and Dufresne compared to Kivar and Tomlin. I definitely would give Umechi the advantage in terms of skill between the sophomore Malark. It's just Umechi hasn't been stopped aside from foul trouble at the moment. That's the only reason why he's being sat right now.
Right.
And I guess touching back on what you said, shooting yourself in the foot with how your roster gets distributed. Unfortunately, sometimes teams can't get a hold of lots of centers and forwards just because of how rare it is to really get a strong player like that. And Albany's been lucky, obviously, with their injury management, because that's the other part of it. If you don't have the greatest depth, if you can manage your injuries, it doesn't matter as much compared to a team that has great depth who is always injured.
Right.
So, and that's, I guess, another thing where Albany's always been strong at is you don't hear major injuries coming out from them.
Well, they got some of the best support staff in the league right now, and Albany, especially, Daniels doesn't like to push his players beyond their means, which can be an advantage, but also a disadvantage. And you don't see those younger players get as much opportunity because of it.
And we see Pratt coming out with a 3 real fast, bringing it back to a single-digit game. And I mean, there are times when pushing might be necessary, but like you said, if you don't have the ability to do so, it's better not to force it. And Albany is a young team still, despite, I guess Umechi and Tomlin are the 2 oldest starters now.
Fristrigil as well, I think.
Well, Fristrigil's not a starter.
Oh yeah, he's not.
He's not starting at least this game. I know Tomlin and Fristrigil kind of switch out, and we see Pratt. No good. Offensive rebound by Tomlin, though. Can't get the putback. So some fast plays coming out. I think that might be Albany's decision they've made now, is that we're going to stop playing the slow tempo and just go for speed. Ballstein tried to step in but decided to back the ball back out to Sawyer. Sawyer can't really get around his man, forced to pass to Gilbert. Gilbert passing behind his back, goes in for a teardrop, no good. Let's see if Albany decides to keep up with this high-tempo offense. It looks like it. Tomlin getting lucky. A couple bounces off the rim. Back to a single-digit game. And we'll see Tennessee call a timeout now. Looks like they want to make some adjustments now that they've seen what Albany wants to run. And this is the chess match you see sometimes in these games where a great coach knows when to call a timeout because he can feel the momentum slipping from his team.
Right.
He just has to be careful, or she just has to be careful when they call it, because it gives the opposing team a chance to make adjustments. It's not like it's an exclusive timeout, but I guess with Tennessee's coach right now, they've seen what Albany's doing. It's somewhat working with Pratt. They could have had 2 more baskets fall. They got lucky per se, and they did not fall. They let an offensive rebound get collected, but they couldn't convert it.
Well, I think also it's more important when you've got teams that are so fluid in terms of their play style to kind of look at it as a game, like a chess match. Because, like, for instance, if Tennessee were up against someone like Plymouth, I know they haven't been doing well in the last couple of years, but while they were kind of on top, they were very textbook, very very rudimentary play style. You wouldn't necessarily have to take time to adjust to their play style because you knew that they were going to make textbook plays.
And we see Beck going from the top of the key, no good. Almost an offensive rebound. Ball goes out of bounds. Ref saying that a Tennessee player touched it last. It's Albany's ball. And I mean, there are advantages with having a consistent playbook that you follow. Not like that's what you do, you follow it. It means there's a lot less adjusting if you want to do it mid-game. Mostly you focus on the defense at that point, and you just trust your players to convert. You don't see that as often now. We're seeing a lot more street ball kind of continuing to integrate into the FBA.
Well, I think that reflects why, for instance, Plymouth is not doing well in the last couple of years, because they're kind of almost refusing to adapt to the direction that the FBA is heading in.
And we see Kavar getting blocked in the rebound, then stolen. And he gets the defensive rebound on the other end, but he lost the ball a couple times there while trying to get the ball up. The Tennessee defense would not let him get it up in the air. We see LeBeau with the ball. He was hot in the second. Let's see if he decides to continue. If decides, as if he has a choice, if he can continue it this quarter. Draws a foul from Songhua. Third personal on the Foo Dog. might stay in. It's late in the third quarter, so it's not necessarily considered foul trouble at this point, like Umechi was in.
Okay, gentlemen, two shots.
And you could argue with Plymouth that overall they're still trying to redefine themselves in this new, play style that's becoming prevalent. And to be fair for them, they are in arguably one of the best divisions. You have Albany, you have Bangor, you have the Queens. The Queens were, I think, still currently leading the division. They have 3 very strong divisional rivals that they have to play. And we see Albany bring it to a 7-point game. And we see that sometimes, like with last year, where as you had the Plains Division, which really struggled, you had the Pacific Division, the Pacific Rim Division, which had 4 very strong teams that all were playoff teams.
Right.
We see Tennessee making another basket, 9-point game. Albany has been unable to claw back this deficit that they've gotten themselves into. Delgado down low. Double team now. Decides to back off, though. Still holding the ball. Tomlin comes in, blocked, out of bounds. Albany will retain possession, though, but with only 5 seconds on the shot clock. And it looks like they're going to bring Dufresne in for Wallstein. Kavar, fast shot. No good, though, but Delgado, offensive rebound. Can't get the putback either. It's just not falling for Albany suddenly. It honestly might be time to bring Umechi back down. LeBeau blocking. Very surprising to see that out of him. Lacoste going for 3. Finally some life from the Albany offense. 3 points. 70-64 with a little less than 2 minutes. Dangerous pass down to Brown. Almost intercepted by Albany. Beck drives in. No good, though. LeBeau with the ball again. Passing Lacoste on the perimeter. Trying to get a player open. LeBeau for 3. High arc, no good. Sung Hua with the rebound. Beck getting a nice screen and defensive violation called. Called on, I believe that was Kavar.
Kivar, yeah, he's not very happy about that.
I mean, sometimes it's easy to forget your paws in the paint like that, and
Yeah.
as a result of the foul, Song Hua, probably actually the best player to have to force to go to the line, will get 1 free throw with no one around, and now they will get to inbound the ball and retain possession. That's like a no-pressure free throw where there's no one around you. You see that
Just like in practice.
Yeah, just like in practice. It's basically the easiest shot to make in the world. If you can't make that shot, you may not need to be in the NBA anymore.
Yeah.
See Brown with the ball. Passing to Song Hua. Nice basket from Song Hua. We see LeBeau with the ball in the perimeter. Passing over to Tomlin for the shot. Nice answer back on his part, and looks like we're going to be running. Looked like Tomlin was thinking about doing a full court press, but the rest of the team had gone back down.
Whoops.
Well, I mean, he turned around in time. He's not the fastest mammoth on the floor, so.
Yeah.
We see Beck going for 3. Trying to put a dagger in it, extending it to a 10-point game. That is painful. I mean, Beck hasn't been making a lot of shots so far. Been taking a lot, not necessarily making as many of them. But that's just not something you want to see right now. Is Albany and block Tomlin. I think that was Dufresne on the block. Now Tennessee's going to get the last second shot with a 10-point advantage going into the fourth quarter.
Wow. He's just going to run out the clock, I think.
Yeah, I know. He's going to take a last-second shot. And, of
It's
course,
good.
Beck is going to nail that and make it a 13-point game just to make Albany really start sweating going into the fourth
To add
quarter.
insult to injury.
Extremely so. I mean, that's 2 back-to-back threes. The game was single digits until Beck decided I'm just going to make 2 threes suddenly. So it's been a bit of a turnaround this third quarter. Tennessee really coming out firing on all cylinders, whereas Albany's been sluggish, and even Umechi's been forced to sit down because of his fouls. I think he'll be back on the floor now. I'd be shocked if he wasn't back on the floor. He needs to play the last 12 minutes.
Yeah, I think Albany's going to utilize him as much as they can.
Well, Redman with the ball. A little bit different. Drives down to the paint, gets the foul. If can't get it done from the perimeter, I guess you can go to the line, young Buffalo. And it's actually interesting to see, just the vast difference between, some species and how they play. You have Wallstein on Tennessee, is a very large Buffalo, much more of the prototypical style of defensive. But then you have Redmayne, who's a very fast, speedy player.
I mean, not to stereotype.
Not the stereotype, but when you imagine, you see certain species, cheetahs, you expect to kind of be fast to a degree.
Right.
You expect bunnies, able to jump a bit. Buffalo, Redmayne is a very fast buffalo. He might be one of the fastest players in the league. We see Savoy going for a long ball. Nails it on his part. 13-point game. Umechi bringing the ball up himself over to Tomlin. Now down to Haley in the paint. Wallstein with the reach-in foul. Pratt passing the ball into Tomlin. Pratt going for a shot but blocked. Over to Dufresne. Dufresne to Savoy. Savoy down to Wallstein again. Back up to Millark. It seems like they're going to go with a little slower play style, but Wallstein called on the illegal screen. Albany's ball now. I was a little surprised to see Pratt playing. I'm assuming they had him as shooting guard and someone else as in small forward because Kivar was sitting on the bench to start the quarter. Now he's brought in, though, as the power forward. I see Umechi on the perimeter.
Yeah, Pratt's usually in at number 1.
Right over to Haley.
Sometimes number 2.
Yeah, and Umechi going for 3, no good. And when we talk about players, playing multiple positions, Umechi is one of those few guys that can play, probably 4 of the spots. He can play anything from point guard to power forward.
Right.
Dufresne, nice little layup from the opposite side of the glass. Obviously, putting Umechi at point guard would be a little interesting. I think Daniels would have to have his head examined if he did that, but Umechi might be able to do it, honestly. We see Kelvin going for a shot. Kivar with a nice offensive rebound and put back for 2. Still a 13-point game. Tennessee's ball. Lark on the perimeter. Savoy driving down to the paint. Shoots over Redmayne easily. 15-point game again. Albany is just, I don't even know if I can call it cooled off. It's an ice age right now. Someone better tell the Mammoths to hide. Lark with the ball over to Savoy. Savoy fouled. No good. Haley on the foul.
Yeah, Albany at this point just seems almost depressed isn't the right word, but disheartened. That's the word I'm looking for. You couldn't even see it kind of in their playing at the moment. It doesn't seem like they're really putting their best foot forward.
And you're right. I mean, but this is also, one of the problems with the fluid kind of play style is if you don't have anything to fall back on, you can struggle because if you can't find the one who's really scoring, because that's what it ends up coming down to. Okay, who's making their shots? Well,
Right.
Umechi was making it for a little while, but then he struggled. So you went to Redmayne. Redmayne's not making his shots. Okay, let's go to Kavar. Kavar is doing decent work in the post, but he's being challenged by Dufresne and Wallstein.
Yeah.
So it's one of those challenges. You have to be able to be fluid enough, but have that backup when the fluid playstyle doesn't work anymore. You have to be able to have something to fall back on, or else you're just going to be stuck making the same mistakes. And right now with Albany, they got to get Redmayne on the perimeter making some shots, because I can't call him the linchpin, but he is very important for how this team plays. If you don't have any pressure from the perimeter, they're just going to stack the post and challenge Kavar and Umechi all day. They're going to double team both of them as they enter the paint.
And that's the problem. If Redmayne has a bad day or isn't feeling up to the task, just the whole playstyle falls apart.
That or Umechi just has to go coffee husky mode and carry the team.
Yeah.
Which might just be what it takes today if Redmayne can't get some baskets to fall.
Well, that's why they really need to start relying on their bench a little more. But even still, you've got people like Pratt and LeBeau who may have the skills, but they just don't have the experience that some of the veterans on the team have. Goes
Right.
back to what I was saying earlier.
And we saw a nice defensive play from Albany, double-teaming Savoy, forcing a turnover on his part. You see Umechi with the ball now. Driving down to the paint, pass to Kavar. Kavar, there we go. Nice play. Defense was more focused on Umechi and forgot about the big old Jaguar down in the paint. Let's see if Tennessee can answer back. Double-teamed Wallstein now, passing over to Millark.
They're using Tennessee's tools against them.
Right, but Millark gets free, passing over to Dufresne.
Oh,
No good, though.
lucky break for Albany there.
Yeah, it's their chance to, well, you say lucky break, and then you had to curse him. I mean, Umechi is just pawed his face. Can't believe he passed it like that. So much
Threw
traffic.
the ball away.
Well, there was so much traffic right there. It just got lost to who it was meant to go to.
I'm just not going to say anything the rest of the quarter.
Don't say that. Solo casting is very difficult on the voice. And we see a double team on Savoy again, but at least Millark open for three, and he nails that. That's the danger. If you can't get the pressure there right away, it leaves a man open. And Millark is not going to miss that shot. 6 for 8. 18 points on his part.
I love my boys from Albany, but I'm gonna probably call it here.
I mean, it is a 17-point game with 7 minutes and 47 seconds left, and you saw Tennessee almost getting a steal there. Poke the ball out of bounds. Albany will retain possession, though. See Umechi with the ball in the corner pocket.
See, Albany needs kind of a miracle here at this point to catch up.
Yeah, and then that bad turnover is not going to help. Umechi trying to do a cross-court pass, no good. Wallstein stepping into her shot, can't get the fall. Kivar with the rebound. And Umechi with the ball. See if he keeps it in his paws or passes off to Kavar again. Decides to go for the 5-footer off of the pull-up jumper. Nails it. Still a 15-point game with 7 minutes and some change left. Tennessee's going to go ahead and call a timeout, though.
It's Umechi with 20 points for the game so far.
Yeah, he's had 20 points. surprised. I mean, with the 7 minutes left, there's time for him to score, but that is That is a little lower than his norm. His norm is usually around 26 on average. It's kind of a credit to Tennessee's defense that they've been shutting him down, or at least putting the pressure on him. I think the biggest, I guess Tennessee calling the timeout here is to make sure that the team stays focused with this lead they have. They can't count Albany out yet, even though, as you said, it's probably going to take a miracle. If there's a team with enough explosive firepower to do it, it's Albany. I mean, if you get the Husky angry, he's going to score 30 points on you in the blink of an eye. And Redmayne, all it takes is 2 or 3 shots, and he's on fire again. So, defense can't let up.
That's absolutely true.
Albany's one of those teams you can never really truly count out with that kind of firepower they have. It's just, can their defense step up long enough for the offense to ignite? We see Savoy being double-teamed again, passing up to Dufresne on the perimeter. Wallstein passing over to Millark. Millark tried to do a behind-the-back dribble, but lost. Umechi with the ball again. Passing over to Kavar. Nice quick shot from about 8 feet out. 13-point game.
Jaguars starting to step it up here.
Well, not only that, it's Umechi's dishing the ball to him, and Savoy left open by Umechi. Umechi was not positioned well for that. Tennessee answers right back. And that's the thing. Umechi is one of the best decoys in the game because he's just so dangerous, and we see him right there proving why. He manages to get a little bit of contact, knocks over his defender without getting a foul called on him, and just open lane to the basket. That's the reason why he's so dangerous with the ball. He can dish it to anyone. And we see Wallstein going for 3 now. No good. But offensive rebound by Savoy. A second offensive rebound. Still no good. Almost a third. That's 2 offensive rebounds in that one possession, but can't get the ball to fall. Umechi being double-teamed a little bit, but Dufresne now the only one watching him. Back up to Redmayne. Gets a screen. Passes down to Tomlin off the pump fake. Fouled by Savoy, gets the basket. If he makes his free throw, we're back to a 10-point game.
Maybe I spoke too soon.
Well, I mean, like we said, Albany's explosive. They've made 3 straight possessions, whereas Tennessee has only made 1. It's very quick to turn the points around in these kind of games. It's not to say Tennessee didn't have a chance to get a basket. They had 3 chances the last possession. They just could not convert. And Tomlin making a nice rebound, 10-point game. 91-81. 5 minutes and 30 seconds left. Albany going with the double team, but Dufresne left open. Huge block, though, coming in from Tomlin off the backboard. Good pause by Kelvin to get a hold of that. You see Umechi, deep 3. Okay. Someone gave the Husky some hot coffee. He's on fire now. It's his first 3 this half. Brings it to a 7-point game.
I feel like they're doing this to
spite you?
Prove me wrong. Yeah.
Yes. And Tennessee stepping out of bounds. Tennessee, they need to call a timeout, honestly, after this next possession, because this game has turned around so fast on them. If they let them get a basket here, it's a 2-possession game. Redmayne going for a pump fake. Umechi left open. Okay, Tennessee, timeout. You gotta call timeout. 5 points. Come on, coach. As soon as he crosses that line.
They're not gonna.
They're gonna let him roll with it, but that's very dangerous. Savoy going for a pump fake. No, doesn't get Redmayne to commit, though. Sawyer going for 3. No good. Albany with a chance to bring it to a 1-possession game. After being down by almost 20 points. Going to go for a double screen with Redmayne going for 2. No good, though. Tennessee catches a little bit of a break there. But they're double-teaming Savoy. He's been forced to pick up the ball. Malark over to Sawyer again. Sawyer down to Dufresne. Back up to Savoy. He's been doing it all day. Not doing it now, though. Albany, another chance to tie in this gap back up. Bring within one shot. Of course, it's the Coffee Husk with the ball in there. Possibly looking to do a double team as he went to the paint. Back over to Redmayne on the perimeter. Only 2 seconds left on the shot clock. Call on the line, no good. Ball just bounces to Sawyer. I think I would have rather Umechi take the shot with how... Ooh, ball tipped out of bounds by Albany. Almost a steal there. That was dangerous play by Tennessee. They could have turned the ball over after a good defensive hold on their part. Right under the basket to Malark, but blocked by Umechi. Redmayne, fast break. Umechi with the ball, but blocked on his end. 2 back-to-back blocks. Nice job. I believe that was Wallstein. That's her 6th of the day. Savoy backing down to the paint, being double-teamed. Doesn't matter. Spins around and just lays it in. Back to a 7-point game. Moonshiner's shooting better than Albany at the moment, and it's reflected in the scoreboard. Mechi again, the screen to get open, goes up for the shot, fouled by Malark, and gets the basket. Chance for a 3-point play. Could get to 4 points. It really has become the Umechi, please bring us back campaign right now. He's doing it all on his shoulders.
I'd say it's a wing and a prayer, but it doesn't have wings, so it's a cup and a tail.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know what's worse, an angry caffeinated husky or an angry decaffeinated husky. We see Savoy again. Albany's made this adjustment to double team, but leaves Sawyer open. Gives a nice lay-in. Albany also has 3 timeouts of their own. Dangerous. Trying to be quick about it. Umechi, no good though. Almost tipped and stolen. Gets a nice little screen. Drives to the paint. Passes it to Tomlin. Tomlin goes up himself. No good. Foul on Dufresne. 3rd of the game. Tomlin will get to go to the line for 2. I'm a little surprised neither team has called any of their remaining 6 timeouts. Perhaps saving it for the last couple of possessions if it gets close.
It's going to be a very, very long 2 minutes.
I mean, it is. As soon as, depending on how these baskets go, Tennessee may decide to call a timeout just to drop a play. Just, pull one of those plays out that you save for when do you need a basket. Because they have to keep this game a 3-possession game. If they leave it at a 2-possession game, they're just leaving the door open for Albany at that point. Let's see if he makes this next one. Good on the first. And good on the second. Nice job from the line from Tomlin. Tennessee deciding not to call a timeout. Sawyer with the ball in the perimeter. Passing over to Dufresne. Dufresne to Malark. Malark does a little spin move. Wind down the shot clock. They're going to be forced to take a last-second shot. No good off of the iron. And Redmayne with the ball. This gives Albany a chance to get it within a basket. And, of course, they're going to give it over to Umechi. Umechi gets the screen but can't drive to the paint like he wants to. Forces by his defender, though, and just can't get it to fall. That's a shot he should make.
That would have been brought Albany within 1 possession.
Yeah, now it gives Tennessee another fresh shot clock to wind down, but instead, Savoy decides to take it to the basket, forces Umechi to foul him. Now Savoy gets a chance to go to the line for 2. If he misses Well, I mean, even if he makes both, it's still technically a two-possession game. It just will require 2 threes to keep Albany in it. Umechi's been making them on and off. Perhaps we might see one of those situational players come in. LeBeau has been hitting his 3 today. Maybe bring him back in for a 3. Good on the first. Back to a 5-point game, and the home crowd is excited, obviously. And good on the second. 6-point game, and Albany's forced to call a timeout. This will allow them to inbound the ball a little bit closer to the hoop, but also a chance to drop a play. They are in some trouble now. I mean, they did have that bit of a spurt comeback within 4, but with a minute left and 6 points to cover, you're at that point where any missed shot at this point might be the game.
And, I hate to admit, the Alphas have been playing pretty sloppy all night.
Well, their first half was very strong. I think both teams played extremely strong in their first half. I mean, we saw the score was very close, minimal turnovers. It's just the third quarter fell apart for Albany, and Tennessee just kept on trucking without them. And I guess you could say Albany's tried to put it back together in the fourth quarter, and you've seen like small showings of it, small spurts, but they just haven't been able to maintain it, and Tennessee hasn't fallen apart. So,
well, and this is a team that works best under pressure. So, I even though they're down by 6, I think Albany still has a chance, despite my earlier claim.
Well, you said works well under pressure, and then they have a turnover, unfortunately, on the inbound, costing them about 10 seconds of the shot clock. But they get the ball back without giving up a basket. Redmayne, dangerous pass, but Umechi back with the ball, passing to Haley on the perimeter, back to Umechi in the post, dangerous pass, but he makes it. Now we're going to see a full court press, try and get a turnover, if not foul, right away.
I told you I had to keep my mouth shut.
Yeah. As soon as you say no they work best under pressure, instant turnover. We see Albany actually not going to foul, let them go for it, gets the rebound. Umechi, 2-on-1 fast break, decides to take the shot himself. No good. Dufresne's 4th foul, but Umechi gets to go to the line for 2. Here's the problem. Even if he makes both of them, it's still a 2-point game. And there is no shot clock left. The shot clock is turned off. That means Albany will be forced to either procure a turnover on the inbound or foul right away. But that's going to put them at the line. And neither
Right.
team has really struggled from the line tonight. So that's one down. Okay, there is a third, even crazier option where Umechi intentionally misses. Someone gets the rebound and they go for a 3. But that is not something you want to tell your player right now to do. That's a very long shot kind of play to make. And good on the second. We'll see the full court press again. Sawyer with the ball and instantly fouled by Haley. No surprise. Only a couple seconds burned off the shot clock. And we are in the bonus, which means Sawyer will go to the line for 2. Probably not one of the people you want to see go to the line, but that's the problem with the inbound. It's going to go, yeah, it's going to go to the point guard. It's going to go to the shooting guard, and usually both of them are very good with the free throws. And good for the first. Still a 3-point game. If he misses this one, it gives Albany a shot. The door is left open for them to hit a 3. And bounced around a little bit, but it manages to fall in. Albany still with their spirits held high, though. It looks like going into the timeout. Still a 4-point game, 99-95, 22 seconds left. I think Albany needs to run a 3-point play here. if they can get a three-point play, they can still foul, and they'll still be one possession. They can't
Right. Well,
settle for two.
they need to get threes to match the twos they'll pick up with the fouls.
Right. They can't settle for two at this point. And almost turned over again. Kavar going for a fast two. I mean, that's one way. Now he's got to force a turnover again, or else we're back in the same situation. And Savoy with the ball, going to the line. And we might just see a little bit of back and forth with this. It doesn't matter how many shots Albany makes at this point if they're not closing the gap.
And do you think it would be beneficial for Tennessee to foul Albany at this point? Force them into twos?
No, I don't think so, because Albany hasn't shot well from three. I think it's better at this point just to let them get the twos and don't turn over the ball. I mean, they're maintaining a a two-possession lead at this point. As long as they don't turn the ball over, they're fine. Don't give them a high percentage chance to, close the gap. I mean, if they're shooting 50% from the field goal, don't send them to the line, because Albany has been 90% from the line tonight. That's pretty much guaranteeing them 2 free points. Like I said, it'll be interesting to see what what kind of play they decide to call. Again, if they go for two, they're stuck forcing a turnover or hoping for a miss. With a little over 10 seconds left, they might have to just do a three-point play. I'm going to say it again. You got to go for a three-point play. If you miss it, it's done. If you make it, talk about some pressure. Put the pressure on Tennessee, force them to go to the line. Even if they make both of them, there's a chance for overtime. If they miss one, there's a chance for you to win. If you go for two, there's not as much pressure being put on them.
Yeah.
The biggest pressure might be on Tomlin right now, making sure he passes the ball safely to obviously going to be Umechi. He's backing up a little bit, but decides to drive into the paint on his own, off the back iron and out, and that's the really painful thing is
That's going to be the...
That's pretty much game at this point. Umechi instantly fouls, 9 seconds left, but Savoy going to the line again. 4-point game, 9 seconds left. Unless he misses both of these shots, it's done and dusted.
Shooting two.
And Savoy has, I believe, not missed one tonight, so good on this one. 5-point game. And good on the second. Albany going to just run down the court real fast. Pass over to Redmayne. Redmayne for three. His first one of the night. I said
he needed to do that earlier.
he needed to do that earlier, and okay, I take it back. Albany isn't done yet, but they have to get a turnover off the inbound and a three-pointer off really fast.
Yeah, but Albany could do it. I mean, they're...
Hey, you've been saying they're done. You need to keep saying it. That's the only reason why they've come back. I think it's because you've been.
Oh
down
yeah,
there.
yeah. They're guys. This game's so over. There's no way they can go back.
But yeah, if they let them get the ball in, they're going to be forced to foul. And again, at the three-pointer was too late. If that had been like 2 possessions ago, I would have said the pressure's on. But it's not going to be pretty unless they get a turnover right away. And even if they get a turnover, they have to have the presence of mind of we have to pass out to the perimeter, because 3 seconds is not a lot of time to catch the ball, pass the ball, and then shoot the ball.
Sure, just do one of those in 1 second increments and you're fine.
Well, and that's the other thing is Tennessee intentionally called a timeout so they could start up on this side of the court. And we see Sawyer with the ball, pass over to Millark,
And
Umechi. Fouls out. That's not. I mean,
He's tapping out early. That's all he's doing.
well, if Malark missed both free throws, there's a full court heave, I guess, that could happen. Umechi is one of the ones you probably want in that case, but they couldn't foul Sawyer fast enough, and they couldn't foul Savoy either. So it just ended up in Malark's paws, and Umechi had to make the choice to foul him, and that is officially the end of it, unless someone fouls the person throwing the ball half court and they make it.
No, I think they can. I think they can still. No, yeah, I got.
And there's the second one. That would
They
be
can
an
get 5 points and like.
Well, no. What happens is you get a technical 2, and then you make a 3 after the 2 free throws.
Right.
But as we joke around about that, Albany does end up losing. Tennessee 105, Albany 100. Who would you say is the player of the game, though?
Oh, I'm gonna go with the big gator.
Dufresne. I mean,
Dufresne.
definitely he was hot. I could say I'm going to go with Malark. Malark, I think, missed a total of 3 shots and put up almost 20 points this game. His field goal percentage was well above 60%. And let's see who they decide to go with tonight. And it looks like both of us are wrong. They're going with Savoy. I mean, he did end up going to the line a lot at the end for free throws and 30 points, 7 rebounds, and a couple of big blocks on his part. I can't argue against that. I mean, I guess I did kind of lose track of how many times he went to the line at the end there. We'll have to see how many free throws he had in this game. And going into the score, he went to the line 14 times, but we'll get to that in a sec. Wallstein, 10 points, 9 rebounds, 1 rebound short of a double-double, but had 6 big blocks. Malark with 20 points, 6 for 12. Actually, he did end up losing his field goal percentage as he went along, but 6 for 8 from the free throw line. Nice showing from him. Sawyer, 6 points, 6 rebounds, 13 assists, and not a lot of points on his part. He went to the line 4 times, made every shot. Dufresne, also 1 rebound away from a double-double with 13 points. A block and a steal and an assist. He shot well, 5 for 8. And then obviously Savoy, the player of the game, 30 points in 30 minutes, 7 rebounds, 12 of 14 from the free throw line. That's a lot of free throws.
Yeah.
And then Songhua matching blocks and steals, 3, 5 rebounds, and 6 points. Like I said, great showing from Savoy from the free throw line. Definitely held together, considering over a third of his points came from the free throw line. I could say the same thing about Malark, though. 6 of his points came from there. Brown didn't really take any. He didn't have many minutes in the second half. A block and assist is really what he ended up with. Beck shot the ball a bit much, 5 of 16, but had those 2 daggers that were the threes back to back. That really put Tennessee up by what was, I think, 15 at the end of the third quarter.
Yeah. Well, and considering that they won by 5, those are
are
critical baskets.
big shots despite her shooting below 30% field goals. She made 3 big ones that counted a lot. Providence didn't really have a lot of time on the court, only 2 points, that one layup behind the rim. Gilbert, same thing, only 1 basket. And we didn't get to see Shucker, Penagoyan in the second half, really. They got their minutes in the first, and that was it. As for the bench for Tennessee, I mean, Beck definitely stepped up and took over, but at the cost of their field goal percentage. Whereas we head over to Albany, and Tomlin was a little bit surprising to see him go 5 for 5 from the free throw line, but 15 points, 8 rebounds, a little short from a double-double, but 3 blocks. Good job on the defensive end. Umechi, 34 points in 34 minutes. Did a bit of everything, but had 3 turnovers, which was a little disappointing. He shot a little below 50%, 13 of 27, and 5 for 5 from free throw. Kavar, the only one with the double-double tonight, 12 points, 13 rebounds. Good showing from him. Haley, 0 for 6, painfully not getting a basket or a point, but 5 assists tonight. His 3 turnovers mitigate that a little bit, but again, he's a young player. He's still learning. Redmayne, 2 for 6 shooting, 1 for 3. He was good from the line, 4 for 4, but only 9 points tonight. And Delgado, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, only took 1 basket. Very shocking to see all the points centered around 4 of the starters, essentially. I think some of the bench players had far more points than the starters. Like
Yeah,
we get into
like LeBeau.
LeBeau, yeah, 10 points. His shooting definitely tapered off in the second half, 1 for 5 from 3-point range. But he had a big block despite his height disadvantage. I mean, you could say he's not a very tall rabbit. Akiak Pratt, he had his moments of hot and cold, 4 for 10, 9 points. 2 turnovers on his part, though, not surprising from the rookie. Frestrikiel, 8 rebounds, 6 points, 2 for 2 from the field. Probably could have been used a little bit more in the rotation. Lacoste, perfect from the field, 5 points, and the rest really not a lot of points. And as we see, I mean, going into it, you see where the momentum started was with Albany. Uh, they went to the line more, made more of their baskets from the line, had a nice advantage going into the second quarter. But that's where Tennessee managed to claw it back to a 2-point game. That's kind of, I guess, you could say where Albany started to slip a little. Their field goal percentage dropped a bit. Their three-pointers weren't falling. They were only 1 for 7. Mm. Anything you have
Well,
to?
I really do think that with Albany, if one player has a bad game, then they all suffer for it. And you were saying before, especially it seemed that Redmayne really wasn't at all on point today, and you can see that it reflects it reflects that reliance on these big name, big shooter types, where if one of them isn't working on all 6 cylinders, then the whole team suffers.
Right, and we see in the fourth quarter, Albany basically carried the. I mean, the 52% field goal percentage was great from them. They had 34 points in the fourth quarter. They came out firing in the fourth and got very close to bringing it back, but they just couldn't manage to close it out in the end. I think there was like that one missed shot from Umechi that he's going to look back on and say, I should have made that. I need to practice that more. And it was probably fatigue at that point, but he missed an easy layup.
Yeah.
They could have brought to a one-possession game, and if it's a one-possession game, maybe you don't have to foul Tennessee the last 2 minutes of the game and give them free throws all day. Any takeaways you have for both teams? I mean, you already touched, I guess, a little bit on Albany with sometimes their reliance on these big shooters. It can fall apart at times. They're not impenetrable. They're beatable, essentially.
Right. Well, it's fascinating to see how Tennessee plays versus how Albany plays, because I don't think Tennessee has like really big name shooters. They're a little more well balanced overall, but they still kind of have that same approach to play style as Albany does. And today it showed that by having a little more reliance on all of the players for spreading those points around in that sort of play style, it definitely benefited them in the end.
Yeah, and you really saw that Albany wasn't able to stop Dufresne in the post, and by extension, when Savoy got into the post, they struggled with that height disadvantage. And because of that, it opened up Malark and Savoy to play from the perimeter, which is, again, that's kind of the play style when you have a decent post game and a decent perimeter game. They have to synergize off each other. They have to play off each other because they make openings for each other. Albany kind of does that with Redmayne, but at the same time with Umechi, they don't rely on that kind of style. And sometimes that becomes a problem. When Redmayne's not producing and if Umechi's not able to produce as well, you're pretty much out your two biggest shooters.
Exactly. Where I think, if any one of the Moonshiners was having a bad game today, I think the rest would be able to kind of step up and fill that hole.
Yeah, like Sawyer tonight. Sawyer really wasn't making a lot of baskets, but he was playing a strong point guard position of, pass first, focus on creating openings rather than scoring. And maybe it'll be interesting to see how Kelvin evolves as a point guard coming from that street ball mentality of, you know, being one of the point producers. Can he develop into a pass first mentality when he needs to be it?
Right. Well, and I think Sawyer just has a better head for the game now, still compared to the King.
Yeah.
Um, I think, and the way that Tennessee was able to kind of adapt to Albany's play styles so quickly every time they kind of shifted gears is kind of a testament to Sawyer's ability as a point guard and being able to lead. Having that situational awareness is so critical in that role, and I don't think that Kelvin is quite there yet.
Right, and I mean, you can't necessarily expect a sophomore player to be at that level yet. But we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. The next Sports Den broadcast will be January 29th. The Las Vegas Wildcards will be traveling to take on the Winnipeg Voyagers. I've been Ryan Eastman, and thanks for joining me tonight again.
It's my pleasure.